really hard time for me and my mother. But I hope to survive.
For the dinner to which he has invited me, Jovo Tuta opens his last bottle of wine to go with a risotto made from just UN rice and herbs.
Dragi prijatelju, hvala da si nam došao I donio tako lijepe vijesti. U ovom teškom vremenu puno znači kad neko dođe sa takim lijepim vijestima. Mi smo, evo vidiš, još uvijek svi živi I zdravi, imamo nove prijatelji koji su sa Grbavice izbjegli, koji su došli sa koferom stvari. Mi se znamo zato što radimo u istom preduzeću. Sad smo jedna porodica. Eto tako u ovom gradu većina ljudi živi. Nas su uveli u Srbe, a njih u muslimane. I živimo zajedno.
When we were leaving Grbavica, our first neighbor was a Serb and he was in their army. He was crying for us. And he told us that he will never forget us, and that was a sad moment. And as you can see, we came here, this place, and driving off from one part of Serb nations, and we came here, and we accepted by this wonderful man, Mr. Jovo Tuta, who is also Serb.
Mnogobrojnih dokaza da se ovdje radi o nametanju nekakvih nacionalnih podjela, što to, bar kad se tiče samog grada, nikad nije bilo bilo važno, mislim, te nacionalne podjele, vjerske I tako dalje. Živjelo se ovdje u jednoj zgradi, u jednom ulazu, u jednoj kući, živjelo se mješovito, sve nacije, sve vjere, sve rase, tako, pa evo I ovdje u ratu kad nas hoće da podijele, mi je tu.
On my way to Sarajevo, I spent a night in Split, in Croatia, where I met a refugee and her 2 children. She told me that her husband was a surgeon in the children's ward of the battered Koševo hospital. I offered to take him a video message from her.
Dr. Nedjeljčić, imam ovdje za vas od vaše žene u Splitu pismo I kaset, poruku što smo mi snimili u Splitu, ona I djeca su bili prisutni. Mi znamo da niste ih vidjeli 9 mjeseci I sasvim slučajno smo imali priliku da sretnemo vašu ženu I vrlo rado gleda nam ovo I ovdje ima I hrana za vas od nje.
Nadamo se da ćeš nam moći ili poslati odgovor na isti način ili da ćeš moći doći uskoro do nas na nekakav način. U svakom slučaju molim te još samo malo strpljenja. Još samo malo strpljenja I moraš znati da te puno, puno volimo.
Malo mi je ovako glupo gledam u ovu kameru, a zamišljam vas preko puta sebe.
Nadam se da ćemo se uskoro vidjeti i da se više nećemo rastajati. Veoma mi je teško i ne mogu više da dočekam trenutak kad ćemo se sresti. Nadam se da ću još ovo malo izdržati. Izdržavam jer radim dosta, tako da ne mogu puno da mislim na ove sve gluposti. Možeš malo.
Vijećnica was the National Library, and necessarily the University Library. It was stuffed with books, with manuscripts, with precious papers. There is no question that the bombardment of this building with incendiary shells was deliberately done. What kind of people make war on the culture and cultural history of a city? Sarajevo has lost, with the burning of this building and with the burning of its Oriental Institute, irreplaceable manuscripts, microfilms of manuscripts, hundreds of years of history swept away by people who do not wish to acknowledge that Sarajevo has an Oriental and a Turkish past. I ask again, what kind of people would do this? The answer is university professors. Nikola Koljevic of the Comparative Literature Department, Alexander Bucha of the Philosophy Department, Vojislav Maksimovic of the Slavistic Department, all of the faculty in which I have had the honor to work for 26 years. Milorad Ekvicic of the History Department, above all, should have known what was being done. I will not mention the psychiatrist.
Predsjednici su podijelili novu kompromisnu mapu Bosne i Hercegovine, koja je nastala na osnovu konsultacija sa svim stranama u posljednjih nekoliko dana. Prema toj mapi Bosnu i Hercegovinu sačinjava 10 provincija.
Ever since I arrived in Sarajevo, Selma has been inviting me to meet her boyfriend, a Serb, with whom she has been for over 6 years. It seems time to find out how mixed relationships are faring in this war.
U tom smislu da smo izgubili ne samo komfor i neke živote koje smo normalno vodili, više ne vodimo, ne možemo da se viđamo tako često.
Jel se lakše se svađate ili jel suprotno?
Ne, mislim suprotno.
Nemamo vremena.
Nemamo vremena.
Zato što smo strašno malo zajedno.
Da.
Poželimo se.
Nemam ličnog života, ja nisam tako hrabar kao Selma, ja ne izlazim nigdje. Već 9 mjeseci. Nemam živce za nerve za takve stvari. Naravno da mi je žao što ne mogu da pomognem na bilo koji način. Tako da praktično sam non stop u kući.
Onda kako provediš dan?
Dan je kratak, ide se rano na spavanje, potpuno je sve izokrenuto iz ležišta. Tako da čitam koliko mogu, onda izgubim koncentraciju, onda uzmem nešto besmisleno da radim, pa se opet vratim da čitam i tako. Tako da je, onda budu nekad i pucnjave, bude.
Ponavljam, ti si muslimanka, Alek je Srbin. Mješovite veze, relationships, ima ih puno.
Ima ih puno.
Jel više nego prije, manje nego prije, ili isto?
Mislim isto.
Isto. Sasvim normalno.
To je sasvim normalno.
Mi smo smetnja.
Da. Smetnja kome?
Pa smetnja...
Onima koji žele da naprave torove za ovce, da ovdje žive muslimanske ovce, ovdje srpske, ovdje hrvatske. A mi niti smo ovce, niti hoćemo da budemo u toru.
In one fold, Muslims, Serbs and Croats gather together in attempts just to cross the road and avoid the bullets of the wolves on the hills. There is this terrible myth that so many people now seem to believe in, that national identity is a sort of mystical reality that you carry within yourself, that brands you. And even if you don't know what you are, you still are that. It's as if someone born into the Church of England who doesn't actually believe in God was told, well, whether you like it or not, you are a Christian, and therefore I will persecute you. The world's media have colluded in this by accepting the ethnic categories laid down by the nationalists and labelling the warring sides accordingly. There are 50,000 Serbs inside Sarajevo who are resisting the onslaught of their fellow Serbs, but in the media, Sarajevo and its government are nearly always referred to as Muslim. How are the Bosnian Serbs in Sarajevo to be labelled? How are the thousands born from mixed marriages to be categorised? How are you going to sort and file a city where even now Muslims, Serbs and Croats still intermarry and will continue to do so as long as sanity survives? At last I have been able to get an appointment with Kemal Muftic, the presidential aide, to propose the exchange of my services for my son-in-laws.
Međutim, moj lični problem je moja kćerka, koja već 9 mjeseci je u Engleskoj sa malom djetetom i sa novom bebom. I kad sam ja rekao da ću se vratiti, ona skoro eksplodirala i rekla, čuj, tata kaže, postoji mogućnost da sam izgubila i muža i majku i sad ne bih htjela da izgubim i tatu. Međutim, meni je jasno da kad bi samo mogao njen muž da se vrati, odnosno da ide kod nje, onda ja bi slobodan da odem. Njen muž Samir je u vojsci, u bosanskoj vojsci i ja sam razgovarao s njim i on nema nikakvu namjeru da ode bez dozvole vlasti i ja svakako ne tražim privilegiju za jednu osobu, samo kažem da je to moj lični problem. I palo mi je na pamet da možda mi možemo jedan exchange da pravimo gdje Samir ode u Englesku, a ja se vratim u Sarajevo.
To je šaljivo, ali mislim da ta vrsta exchange-a
nije baš
izvodio.
Ne. I tako sam, barem ja sam obećavao kćerki da ću barem to pitati.
Supredsjedatelji su definirali i prelazne tačke koje uključuju punu slobodu kretanja na cijeloj teritoriji Bosne i Hercegovine uz nadzor UNPROFOR-a, kontrolu raskršća i puteva iz jedne u drugu provinciju, kao i uspostavu posebne registrature u Sarajevu koja bi mu obezbijedila status otvorenog grada. Također se predviđa demilitarizacija Sarajeva i postepena demilitarizacija Bosne i Hercegovine.
This is my 7th day in Sarajevo. All of these days I have been very worried about my wife because she lives in the new part of the city on the 18th floor of a high-rise block. Yesterday morning, to my great and glad surprise, she appeared in the house where I'm staying. She took an hour, of course, to walk there, as I have now taken an hour to walk here. Now at last I'm able to go and see what kind of conditions she has been living in all of these months of siege. My wife and I are separated. We have not lived together for 10 years, but we are good friends. And it has been a great anxiety, not only for me, but for our children, to know what has happened to her, and if possible, to rescue her from the city. Now, at last, it seems that there is a possibility that we can do this.
The trouble with these high-rise buildings is that everything depends on the electricity. You know, you have to lifts work on electricity, telephones work on electricity, water is pumped.
Yeah, and above all, the lift works on electricity.
Of course.
You have to walk up and down.
Yes.
How many stairs?
314, I have
314.
calculated.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that wouldn't have been so bad. But, you know, you have nowhere to go because no side of the house seems to be safe enough. But my first bullet hurt most of all. The window must have been open. And I walked this way and walked into the kitchen. At that moment, it whizzed past me. And I made this tiny little hole, which I'm using for my bell now. There's no electricity. And we followed the route. It must have fit there. And made a hole through the door. Maybe if the neighbour is in, you'll see where it ended. We couldn't get out. Dobar dan, izvini, snima televizija. Ovo se Englezi pa...
Samo izvolite.
Da vide gdje je metak otišao. And it ended here. And it's too deep in, I think it's deeper than your finger. And we couldn't get out. We were interested to see what sort of a bullet it was.
I mean, how badly has this building as a whole been hit?
I don't know how many grenades fell. I mean, this is my lot, eh? And I've been lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll start crying in a minute.
It's like the time when John Burns met Kolevic, and Kolevic said, do give my warmest regards to Bill Tribe. And I said, John, why didn't you say, Nicola, you are sending him your warmest regards every day. Every rocket brings in...
They wouldn't understand anyway.
Never again. I don't want to meet them again, because if I do, I'll tear him apart with my bare hands.
But this is an application form. What is it? To get me a press accreditation.
Which is all you need. And,
what does the producer do?
Never mind. You'll produce.
If they ask me, you know, what's my job? I wouldn't know.
They talked this morning to Metkovic.
Yes.
Dom talked to Metkovic and to the leader of the convoy, and he says it's perfectly okay so long as you have accreditation. They'll take you out with pleasure.
Very good. Thank you very much. Otherwise you'll have frozen me on your hands.
Yes.
Do you know why they stopped shelling Hum, you know, the
why they stopped?
Television tower?
Yeah.
Well, after about 100 grenades, they realised it wasn't the mosque.
Oh,
in Sarajevo, in the heart of Europe, corazón del mundo. And if you try to share that heart, the all of Europe may soon be pulled apart. But if you want to save the world,
I came here under an illusion, created partly by my own apprehensions, but fed by impressions gathered from television and newspaper reports back in England. My apprehension was that I was coming to not just a ruined city, but a totally demoralized city. And I feared what I would find. I feared that what I found would be something so horrible that I would never ever want to come here again. I'm glad to say that quite the opposite is the case. The city is not dead. It's destroyed, but it's not dead because the city is its people. And I'm happy today, in spite of all the wreck and ruin around me, to find my Sarajevo people the same as I've always known them. And not least, I must say, happy at the very warm reception I've been given, because I also was afraid that they would be angry with me for having stayed away for those 4 months.
In the heart of Europe, corazón del mundo.
Look, if I had decided to drink some hard liquor, it's my business. I've got good reason to. I've got constipation for 3 days. Nothing has moved in my bowels.
Is the drink dirty?
I'm very dirty all over. I've got a beard as long as Methuselah, right? And I'm glad to be out. "5 months have gone by since we made this film. I am still a sort of refugee in my own country, longing to go back, but unable to. My wife Zdenka has settled down in England as well as can be expected. Tamara is still without her husband. Samir is alive and well in Sarajevo, as far as we know. I have been corresponding with many people, amongst them an ex-student of mine who writes from Austria as follows. When you call this widespread spring depression nostalgia, it sounds all wrong to me. Nostalgia is what I had last March in London," she's referring to last year, "before going home. But now I have nothing left to be nostalgic for. Someone smashed it all and spat on it and destroyed it all. Nor can I be homesick. I have no home anymore. And when I say home, I don't mean only the house and the garden and the little bits and pieces and photos and the river and the mosque. I also mean all the culture and the tradition and the pride. I mean all that I came from and that made me what I am. Someone didn't like it, so they decided to destroy it. They decided that 2 million people or more should disappear, together with their history and their country, and everything Bosnia has for 1,000 years stood for, simply because they didn't understand it. They couldn't grasp it. They tried to grab it with their coarse hands, and they couldn't. They felt they weren't part of it. They felt inferior, so they decided to smash it. Understand the crime that is being committed in Bosnia. Stop pretending that this is an ethnic civil war, rather than just a cynical theft of territory. Stop pretending that the Bosnian government is Muslim. Stop pretending that the bullying and cowardly Yugoslav army is a formidable military machine. Admit the right of the sovereign state of Bosnia to defend itself. If you won't help, don't hinder. Lift the arms embargo. Otherwise you collude in the genocide. Justice will only be done when what survives of those 2 million people can go home again.
Bill Tribe's wife, Zdenka, will be one of the guests in this Friday's Right to Reply special, assessing how satisfactorily Bosnia has been covered by television. That's this Friday at 8.